Well, hello, how you doing? And welcome to twitch.tv/1030. I'm 1030. How yous doing? How's it even going? Bomega Man, thank you very much for the sub. Unfortunately, that happened before I'd switched on all my technology, so it'll be a manual bubble blast for you if that's alright. Bomega Man, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for 55 months. Sorry you get a manual blast. However, it's not often people get a manual blast, so in a lot of respects, that's actually more special than if it was automated, if you think about that. Think about that? Do you know what I mean? Welcome. I've been doing stuff behind the scenes. I've been working a fair bit, doing my day job stuff. But in addition to that, I finished a music video that I'm going to premiere right here live on the stream in a wee bit. It's good. I put a wee bit of effort into it. It's good. I would go as far as to say it's good. It's for B Dolan and it's for his track Fight Naked. Now, I was going to get B Dolan on stream alongside me, but unfortunately, well, I mean, not unfortunately because he's a busy guy. He's got a full day, he's got physiotherapy, he's got stuff that he's doing with his nephews, all that sort of stuff. So he's not going to be on, but we might have a stream later where him and I are talking about it. But I'll show you the video, and I'll show you a sort of making of as well. It's interesting, it's quite interesting. It's the first proper music video that I've done in about 10 years, maybe. Although I did do the Rust music video, that was a music video, technically. But that was made in a video game, so I don't know if it counts. I've also started and finished an entire project that I've not even spoke to you about yet. It involves creating an open source electrolyte drink. And I want to tell you all about that. I've yet to upload it to GitHub, but I've created a recipe for an electrolyte drink. So if you listen to podcasts and stuff, you listen to podcasts, you consume media online, of course you do. You might have heard about a sachet that you can buy called LMNT, Element, right? And it's supposed to give you like better sodium, better potassium, better magnesium, all of this in a wee sachet thing. I bought some ages ago because it was on offer. And I took them for 30 days and I felt a wee bit better. So I went to buy more. And when they're not on offer, they are very, very expensive. They're ridiculously expensive. So I looked at what was in it, and it's like pharmaceutical grade sodium, pharmaceutical grade potassium, magnesium, something else, can't remember. So I looked at the raw components of all of that. And I've created a 200-day supply for about a tenth of the price of a 30-day supply from the actual people. And mine contains creatine as well. So basically, I've created a recipe for it. I'm going to put it on GitHub to be open source. And then, sorry, I riffed. To make it even better, right? I created a wee interface because depending on who you are and your lifestyle, you might need more potassium than somebody else, or you might have medical constraints that means that your sodium level should be lower than what's right. So I created a wee questionnaire, a wee form that you can fill in, and then it'll give you a personalised recipe for your own electrolyte and creatine drink, and it's looking pretty good. Designed it all in Figma, created a wee working thing. So I don't know if I can show you the website thing because it's on my laptop and I just went to plug in my laptop and it's out of charge, so I don't know if I'll show you the actual form. It's not on the internet just now, but I can talk about that. It's called Jimbo's Marvellous Medicine. Although technically it's not medicine, so I'll maybe rename it to be something else, to be like Jimbo Juice or something like that. But then the term Jimbo Juice, I don't know if that sounds a wee bit racist or something. I don't know why. I mean, there isn't a race that it's against. But Jimbo Juice, I don't know, it just sounds like it's implying something that it isn't. Anyway, so I'll tell you all about that. What else have I been doing? I've created these wee fiducial markers. Look at them, they're nifty, aren't they? So I've got a couple of these. And I've got these as well. Wee fiducial markers. Well, Ray Lupton says they reckon you should only take electrolytes every day if you're doing loads of exercise. Every few days is fine if you're an idle cunt. 100%. That's why I've created a thing that you fill it in all your details. How much exercise do you do? How much do you sweat when you're doing exercise? All of that. And it will reduce the sodium to be at a level that is like for you, rather than buying one of these electrolyte mixtures. But I think everybody should be taking creatine, because that seems to be pretty good for your health and for your brain, apparently, as well. So that's all quite exciting. It's open source, which means that if people want to adjust the quantities of stuff, you're more than welcome to do so. And that was a wee fun project. What else have I been doing? Created a music video for B. Dolan, and that is cool. I've got that in After Effects right here, and I can show you how I put all of that together. This is a wee example where you can't see the output, but this is absolutely popping on Instagram. Dolan put up a clip of it, not the finished one, so I can show you the full finished video later on today, and that'll be kind of nifty. So it involves the cop slide, you know, the cop slide, and then B. Dolan, what? So we can look at that later on. But first, listen everybody, at the start of the stream what I like to do is share good news. I've just told you all of my good news about how productive I've been for the past couple of days. Your fiducial markers. Bowdy, I don't have anything to hydrate with, I'm very sorry. I simply can't do it. I should have some hydration stuff here. Simply can't do it, I'm sorry. No refunds on your points though. I thought I had everything ready to start streaming, and then you redeemed a hydrate, and now I'm like, Got some fiducial markers though, I can show you these, look. What? So this project has came on leaps and bounds as well. Now this project is structured differently. So previously it was a dedicated Python application that was taking video from the webcam and then capturing every frame and sticking it into OBS. But now the video lives inside OBS, and the wee application is just moving the thing inside OBS. So it means it runs faster, there's no lost frames, and the video renders on the graphics card rather than on the CPU. So it's great, and this I think is about a week away from actually just launching as an application that you can download and use yourself. That's quite exciting, isn't it? That's quite exciting. Beneath the Headphones, welcome in, how you doing? Beneath Headphones says 51 months in a row, 52 months overall. Incredibly grateful to be a fan. Thanks for existing. Thank you very much. Welcome in, Beneath the Headphones. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Do you know the story of the cop slide? Indeed I do, Conabis. So I'll tell you all about that. So I've been staring at the cop slide for the past maybe 30 hours. And I've done a seamless one take 3-minute music video that incorporates the cop slide twice and scrolls round to Dolan, who's in the... Oh, I don't think this is the final video. I've rendered the final video, so... In fact, let me just make sure the final one went on to... What number's this? No, that was version 4. This is version 6. But if I'm in After Effects, this might totally crunch my computer. But it involved some hefty work, so it did. But it's the first time I've edited a full music video in... So there was like mats I had to do. And then I had to like regenerate the full background as well. There's a lot of work in this. Good old solid After Effects, and then some new contemporary tools as well. I created a full background plate as well, just from various stuff. And it's good. I would say it's good. So I've uploaded it to Instagram, and I'll show you the full video in just a wee second. But first, folks, if you've got any good news, stick it in chat. I want to know what your good news is. Who's got good news? Beneath the Headphones, thank you very much for subbing. And Bo Mega Man, thank you very, very much for subbing. How's it going? How yous doing? Deep in a Premiere hole? I was deep in an After Effects hole. I used Premiere a wee bit. Is Premiere still open, actually? No, it isn't. Welcome in. What's your good news? Tommy Bobbins, thank you very much for subbing, Tommy Bobbins. How's it going? Funkyman316, Skywatcher77, Weeshed, how you doing? John the Human, Nicole, RCL Studio, Bo Mega Man, Necknil, I Can't Give a Duck, how's it going? Listen everybody, Wizard Patchimus is in with a wee bit of good news. Wizard Patchimus, thank you very much for subbing for 50 months. Patchimus says, good news, it's my 50-month sub anniversary. More good news, I'm getting electricity run into the shed today. That's amazing. You're going to be able to do all the things. Extra good news, I loved your Halloween stream, but not had the chance to say so yet. Much love to you. And your 2 new projects, how's it going? Oh, is this Patchimus? That's Wizard Patchimus. Sorry, I pointed at Tommy Bobbins' profile picture there. Patchimus, Tommy Bobbins, and Nicole, and Beneath the Headphones, thank you very much. And Bo Mega Man, how you doing? It's shed time. It's not really shed season, because it's getting cold, everybody. It's getting cold and a wee bit rainy. However, if you need to be in a shed, it's a good time to have electricity put in, because then you've got like a wee oil heater or something like that. I'm trying to warm up the loft because I might need to do some 3D printing, and I just can't get enough heat around my 3D printer to make it successful. I Can't Give a Duck is in. Can't Give a Duck says, fun fact, I was reading a study on brain development that might interest you. Childhood, birth to 9, adolescence, 9 to 32. Is that when you're an adolescent? Adulthood, 32 to 66, early aging, 66 to 83, and late aging is 83 plus. Wow. So your brain's not fully into adulthood until you're 32? That's wild. Hello, Devanink, how you doing? RCL Studio says, I have good news. Doctor says I can go back on my ADHD meds. That is class, man. All the very, very best. Bowdy, welcome in. Bowdy says, afternoon troops. And only 99% lethal dose. Well, my special electrolyte mix, right? We're getting glitches, and I think it's because I've got After Effects open. I created up my mix, right? I created 100 sachets of it, so it's white powder in wee baggies. It looks like drugs. So if I get my house raided, it looks as if I have packaged and I'm ready to distribute loads of drugs, but it isn't drugs. So I made them all up, right? And I tasted it, and it tasted absolutely foul. It tasted really bad, right? Gave some to Rachel. She was gagging. She was like, that's stinking. I'm like, I know, but it's good for you. So what I did was, I've got some like blackcurrant diluting juice. You might call it cordial or squash, but that's the wrong name for it. The right name for it is diluting juice. Anyway, you know the stuff, you pour like a shot of it, then you top it up with water, and then it's a nice refreshing beverage. Well, in order to make my new open source electrolyte recipe more palatable, I thought what would be good is if I pour some of the powder in a glass, then pour some of the diluting juice in, and then fill it up with water, and guess what? It tastes better. It tastes much better, right? But something interesting happened. When I poured the blackcurrant in, a really compelling colour change effect happened. It looked like a magic trick. So it colour changed from like sort of red maroon to like a blue, and it happened really visually and quick. So that says we've got a selling point for the open source electrolyte and creatine mix. I need to come up with a better name for it. But instantly it's like it's now got a thing. So I looked into it. You've made Gatorade. Well, this stuff's apparently better than Gatorade, and it's customizable, and it's much cheaper as well. So the fact that it changed colour, that's cool. Makes it, you know, gives it some sort of appeal. Dearie me. Where are we? Jimbo Juice was served at the party where David Cameron violated a pig's head. Allegedly. Make sure not to drink your electrolytes in one go, you'll give yourself diarrhea. I see LKGDDR. I mean, I'm in day 3 and it seems to be fine. But maybe my values are beyond the threshold of the diarrhea threshold. I don't know. Dowdy says, aren't you a bit nervous about giving out medical advice though? Well, it isn't medical advice, and I've put loads of disclaimers over it. And everything that I've done is, I've got sources for it, like medical journal sources, and I've looked into it, and nothing that's in it is like, it's no medicine, you know what I mean? So I'm going to just put enough things of like, do your own research, don't trust a guy on the internet, other general disclaimers, and I'm sure it'll be fine. So Iconobus, I'm going to talk about the cop slide in a wee bit. Rye3D says, my good news is I'm eating beef stew in my car on my break watching 10:30. Cool. I'm very glad to be part of that full experience for you. So Conobus, I will tell you my understanding of the cop slide and then feel free to jump in. Bowdy says, good news, Aldi frozen French bread pizzas are great. Dead cheap, and 2 are currently in my oven. Amazing. I found a good chilled pizza for the supermarket, but I can't remember the name of it. Does anybody know the name of it? But it's only a £5. I can't remember the name of it, and it tastes pretty good for like a supermarket pizza. Spogger says, good news, got a new laptop and faffing about. Sorry, I just heard somebody at the front door there. I'm just making sure there's no postman. No, I think it's just somebody banging. Nothing to do with me. Spogger says, good news, got a new laptop and faffing around, very happy with it except the shitty keyboard. Who decided these layouts? Grr, exactly. Well, I was going to go on a rant about keyboard layouts, but the contemporary keyboard layout we know and love is called the QWERTY keyboard, right? I'll tell you about keyboard layouts, fuck it, this is why you come in here. A lot of you, half of you will be like, I already know this. And the other half of you will be like, I don't care. But I care, so I'll tell you about keyboard layouts. There's different configurations to put keys on a computer keyboard. And our current keyboard layout that's popular is the QWERTY layout that comes from typewriters, because back when people invented computer keyboards, obviously it was made in a format that people already knew how to type in, because typewriters were known and popular. So if you could type on a typewriter, it made sense to use that layout and put it in a keyboard for a computer. However, right, the way the keys were laid out on a typewriter were intentionally inefficient. So the most common keys that you would use are spread far apart. Why? Because the hammers on your typewriter, if the common keys were put together and close together, so that there was less manual work for you to do, the hammers on the typewriter would sort of crash into each other if you type too quickly. So, in order for the hammers to not crash into each other, the most commonly used keys are sort of spread out over the keyboard a wee bit. And so now, in 2025, when we're typing on a computer keyboard, we're still typing inefficiently. And so all the keys are still spread out, even though those hammers don't exist anymore. But we've got to a point where you can't really redesign how the keyboard keys are laid out, can you? Because who's going to, in order to learn the new layout, it would be a big undertaking. You'd need to relearn how to type and stuff. Nobody's going to do that, are they? Yes, people have done that. So there are 2 competing new keyboard layouts. The first revision, or well, one of the most popular revision is called the Dvorak computer keyboard layout, and that is designed purely for a computer, and it wouldn't work on a typewriter because the hammers would crash into each other. And the Dvorak layout is popular amongst a very certain type of computer geek that probably uses Linux, you know, the type. And then there was a completely different revision called the Colmac layout as well. No too sure. I've sort of flirted with the idea of learning one of them, but I'm not a typer and I've got enough projects on the go. And if you're trying to learn how to type with the new layout, you will become worse at typing on a conventional keyboard. So I've got to the point where I'm just like, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to learn the Colmac or Dvorak layout because, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. However, if something happened and radically all the computers in the world would disappear for a generation, and then we're going to come back, it would make sense to teach the new generation how to type in probably Colmac, I think, is the most efficient. But that's not going to happen. Who's going to do that? So it's a big waste of time talking about it, isn't it? Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. It's called Diluting Juice. Hash tent and a load of divvied up powder in the loft. You're asking for a house inspection? Aye. We'll see how it goes. Just eat a banana, mate. You eat a banana, Dwayne Dibley? Yes, we've got steak pie for dinner tonight, everybody. How's it all going, everybody? Jim's Juice, maybe. Shithouse asks, is Gatorade good for you? Well, we don't have Gatorade over here. We had Lucozade, right, that did have electrolytes in it, but then about 6 or 7 years ago, they changed the recipe. So all the sugars are different in it. And so Lucozade now in the UK is just basically a soft drink. It doesn't have any of the electrolyte properties that it used to have. Because like when I was young, if you had a cold or a flu and you had to sort of build yourself back up, they would recommend Lucozade, or like if you were hungover and had to replace some of the vital minerals or whatever that were in your body. But you can't do that anymore. Well, you can do it, you can drink it, but it won't have the same sort of benefit as it used to because they changed it all. So if you're in a pinch and if you're very hungover and in America, you can buy Gatorade, or if you're going to be doing a lot of exercise, like running, you're going to be doing a lot of sweating or whatever, a lot of people drink Gatorade. But I think there are better forms of getting electrolytes in you. It's a quick and easy solution, but I think it comes with a lot of sugars and stuff like that. So different people like to use different things. Creatine put you in hospital, Bowdy? How come? It's supposed to be pretty safe and stuff. How? Tell me all about it if you don't mind. Jackton says, just got here and all I heard was trust the guy on the internet. You seem smart, so I'll do that forever. Cool. That's exactly it. It was a risky one, but I managed it. No beef stew on the seats. Nice one, Rye 3D. Gary Black says, I see BBC Playback are trying to cash in on the 10:30 merch business. What's that, Gary Black? You enjoyed Dr. Oetker's? Nice one. It's not the one I was thinking of, but it's a valid pizza. Frozen pizzas are hyper processed. No, mine isn't. The one I'm into isn't a frozen pizza, because I don't like the taste of frozen pizzas. This one is for the chill dial. Fucking Funkle Albert, thank you very much for subbing. 30 months is 33.33 recurring babies. Wow. And I want that 0.33. Funkle Albert, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. Aye, I'm not saying your supermarket pizzas are in any way healthy, but if you want a wee treat, this one that I forget the name of is alright. Tasty. Late good news, says Carnivore. It's never late, man. We've got room for good news all the time. Carnivore says, good news. Grabbed The Last of Us Remastered on the PS4 yesterday. Amazing. That first game is one of my most favourite games of all time. I really enjoy it. Chameleon says, apparently Dvorak and Comac can increase your typing speed, 100%, but you need to relearn it all. And so I've thought about it, and I'm not going to ever do it. I will just stick to QWERTY, personally. Designed by Mr. QWERTY, designed by John QWERTY. QWERTY is designed to slow you down so the typewriter arms didn't hit each other. Aye, totally. Also, the QWERTY keyboard is designed as such because if you were a typewriter salesperson back in the day, right, and you were showing somebody a typewriter for the first time, you were like, look, have a shot, it's dead easy. Type the word typewriter, right? So allegedly, I don't know how true this is, but you can type the word typewriter only by using the top row of keys on your keyboard. So that when the salesperson says, look, try it out, typewriter, that for the first time, if you were to type it, you go, oh, aye, this is actually quite easy. Apparently that was a design feature in the layout of the QWERTY keyboard. There you go. It might have been post-rationalised, but I read that on the internet, so it must be true. Dearie me. Lectures like this is why someone burned down the art school. I've no idea what you're talking about. You can't prove anything. Bowdy says, I switched my keyboard to Dvorak. It felt just like having a stroke. I have had a stroke. I think I've had one as well because I didn't say that correctly. So there we go. That's somebody with first-hand experience of having a stroke. We'll tell you that's exactly what it was like. Did you stick with it, Bowdy? Have you seen the guy who has done fingertip ball typing thing? I haven't, no. Had the fella... Satala Disco, how are you doing? Thank you very much for subbing. I appreciate these subs, everybody. Thank you very much. Oh, here, I might be able to give you discounts. I keep forgetting to turn this on. But it's only discounts for like 5 gift subs or something. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. And I mean, there's no expectation that anybody will be able to do that. 70 hours of discounted subs. So let's see. Oh no, I think it's finished. No, it isn't finished. Promotion duration. I've got 64 hours remaining, but I can't activate it for some reason. Let's see if I can activate this. No, it's not letting me select the hours. It expires the 31st of December. 64 hours remaining. Can't activate it. Nice one, Twitch. That's cool, man. You cannot combine your own gift sub discounts with any other gift sub promotion such as site-wide. Right, so there must already be a discount on. I don't know anything about that. Well, it's only for folk that are gifting 5 or more subs, so you won't get a discount on this stream. But I don't think anybody's going to gift 5 subs. So we're fine. We're alright. So that's everything that I've been up to. I'm getting texts about what Rachel got people for Christmas. Hello Shagus, how you doing? Welcome in. Gary Black says, when I was doing my degree, I used to fuel my essay writing with Lucozade Sport and ended up giving myself panic attacks and palpitations. That sounds pish. My God. Hello Shagus, hello Carivore. Carivore says, Iron Brew cured one of my worst ever hangovers that made me genuinely worried about what is in it. Was that old recipe Iron Brew? Does new recipe still have that medicinal benefit? I don't know if it does. Bowdy says, migraines. I get chronic migraines, but creatine hit me like the fucking bus, and I was in intensive care for 3 days. Jesus Christ. They don't put that on the package. Pedialyte is a popular option for electrolytes. Obviously, when Bronando comes on the market, that will be tip-top. Interesting. BBC Playback are selling retro Tomorrow's World and test card sweatshirts. Looks official. Oh, a nice one. I've not seen it. Hello Marky, how you doing? I was reading a bit about BBC stuff because I need to stay on top of it because BBC are one of my clients for my freelance work. And they're talking about the guy who stepped down, the former Director General called Tim Davie, right? And there's lots of stuff about recruitment and things. So for the non-output jobs, he was going to outsource them to different countries, right, as a way of saving money. I'm not going to talk about that, but I will talk about the article that I was reading. So they introduce him as Tim Davie, But then after that point, for the rest of the article, they just refer to him as his surname. Davy says that in order to increase revenue over that, Davy such and such, when Davy came into power and all of that, they're just referencing his surname. And if you're reading it, it's as if they just trusted the BBC to some guy called Davy. And it made me laugh a wee bit. Instead of Director General Tim Davy, it was just like, Big Davy's like that. It's as if like one of your dad's mates or something was in charge of the BBC. It put a light spin on otherwise depressing news, and I quite enjoyed it. My colleagues didn't though. When I mentioned it, nobody wasn't really successful observation. Carnivore says, I've said 100 times in here probably, but creatine has been studied and researched up the wazoo. The main dangers are dehydration and taking it with caffeine. Apparently, I don't know if it's a danger, but if you take creatine and caffeine at the same time, I don't know if it's dangerous as much as it just negates the effect of creatine. So you're supposed to like eat in between it or something like that. I heard the longest word you can type on the left hand side of the keyboard is much longer than the right. Interesting. Did I stick with it straight back to QWERTY in under an hour? Aye. I mean, if we were to reinvent computers in general, I think a Comac or a Dvorak setup would be good. But anybody who's into computers enough to know about alternative keyboard layouts will already have definitely learned the QWERTY layout really good. So it's one of the things in the world where if we're to draw a line in the sand and ask everybody to change fundamental parts of learning and habits, then the world would be a better place. But in order to go over that line in the sand would require a lot more effort than what would probably be worth doing. So for decades to come, we will just type with the inefficient keyboard layout that we've all learned. You know what I mean? Stuff like that stresses me out. The first bit of a stroke feels like you're not quite understanding stuff, like you know the bits but can't put the picture together. I see. It sounds awful, man. Like something is on the tip of your tongue. Goodness me. As if a cloud sort of went over you. I've had really intense panic attacks before that got me kind of disassociative, and that's the closest that I could imagine that would be like. It felt a bit like that, but with extreme fear and doom at the same time. Just like, you know, when a flashbang goes off in a video game and it goes like, "Boo," and you're just like, struggling to process existence. Camshi86, how you doing? Welcome in. Thank you very much for 45 months, Camshi. You alright? I hope you're doing good. Wee old Davy for next door. Aye, the former Director General of the BBC, Davy. Big Davy. Mad Davy. Creatine massively dehydrated me and gave me a mad panic attack. Fuck. Creatine stole my wallet and keyed my car. It needs to be taken properly to avoid issues. Aye, fair. I've still got a mad cold in me. And, well, I don't know if it is a cold. Well, this is the reason why I've decided to take magnesium supplements and potassium and all of that sort of stuff, is because for the past couple of months I've been feeling just shite, man. I'm feeling, and I think about that sort of vitamin D, so I need to get more vitamin D, but I can even hear it in my voice just now, so I don't know if this will be a long stream, but we'll see how it goes. But aye, everybody, it's worth paying attention to your body, isn't it? Hello Avgas, how you doing? Folks, every single day I come in here, I'm crying so hard there are tears. You all rock. Avgas, crying happy cries or crying bad cries? You doing alright? Laughing, good, laughing, good. Stroke awareness saves lives? Aye, 100%. It's not so much disassociation, it's more of a, hey, I normally understand this, but those aren't letters or shapes, I don't know what's happening. I see. My goodness. Base Embrace says magnesium has had such a glow up in 2025. Well, I'm trying it out. I'm trying anything out to kind of hopefully feel a wee bit better. But my sleep pattern's totally fucked. So I've been going to bed, like last night I went to bed at 8 p.m. and then woke up at 1 a.m. and I've been awake since 1. But right now, more than anything, I want to go to sleep. But I wasn't on stream yesterday, so I need to do a stream. And, like I said, I've got this project that I can show you. If you want to see the brand new B. Dolan music video, it's very good. And we could talk about that. I'm finding with these colder weather coming in, I'm starting to cough a lot more and I barely leave the bloody house. Aye, same here. I need to maybe start going walks and stuff as well. I've started lifting weights again, hoping that'll make me feel better. But I think I just need to be outside. I'm rarely outside unless I'm going to work. Magnesium's the new protein, I see. Worth taking your protein as well though, am I right everybody? I've been on that milk of the poppy they have in Game of Thrones. Isn't that just opium, Patchimus? I've not seen Game of Thrones. First couple of seasons, everybody's like, oh, watch Game of Thrones. And I'm like, no. And then towards the end of Game of Thrones, everybody was like, oh, this ended up turning out a bit shite. So now I'm sort of glad that I didn't watch it all. I feel kind of good there. What we have been watching though, between Rachel and I, we're now halfway through season 2. We might be on season 3 actually. The X-Files. Every night for the past wee while we've been going through loads of X-Files and it's good. I really prefer the Monster of the Week episodes of the X-Files rather than the longer overarching mythology story about Scully's sister and Mulder's sister and Mulder's da and the black oil stuff and things on ships. See, as soon as they go on a ship on the X-Files, oh, it's boring, man. But I really like there was an episode we watched just kind of recently about like a mind reader guy could see the future, and that was really good. Really enjoyed it. Very funny as well. He can predict how people are going to die. It was a familiar actor. Really liked it. If you can nail sleep, diet and exercise, you'll generally be alright. I know, but it's difficult into Terra Nostra because you're trying to like do everything else in life at the same time. And it's like juggling stuff. It's really difficult. His stroke's hereditary. I didn't know that, Bowdy. But all the very best with everything. Medical cannabis is a life changer for sleep disorders, but I got the prescription for my neurodivergence. Nice one, Agnes Showell. I self-prescribed cannabis for about 20 years of my life, but then I ended up hitting a point where it was doing me more harm than good. So I haven't smoked cannabis now for a good number of months, and I don't think I'll go back to it. But for a lot of people it works great, and for me it worked great for a good 20 years, and then something changed in my physiology that means that it's not really for me anymore. Makes me kind of scared of my own hands. Fringe is great, nice one. I've not checked out Fringe. And Pluribus, I've not checked out Pluribus, but I've heard it's really good as well. X-Files gets kind of rubbish after season 4, but first couple of seasons are good. Don't pay attention to the mythology story about all, because it doesn't go anywhere. There are loads of twists and turns, and I was like, so I went online. I'm like, right, what is it all? And even diehard X-Files fans are just like, don't bother about all of that. Something to do with the cigarette smoking man is actually pals with Mulder's dad, and he is part of the Syndicate, which is Men in Black, and their job is to liaise with aliens who are trying to destroy the world via a virus, but in order to fix the virus you need to create human-alien hybrids, but then that's a pain in the arse to do because it doesn't go anywhere, it's a lot of shite. But for enjoying the X-Files, I highly recommend the other type of episode they do, where they're just like following the monster of the week. So this week it's about a guy who can vibrate through walls, or another guy who can make people die just by thinking about it. Jack Black was in that episode. So really good. Really been enjoying them. Funk Albert says, if you've been watching X-Files that much, you'll have developed the constant Mike's No Music soundtrack syndrome where you can't look at anything without hearing synth strings. Yes, aye, 100%. We've been singing along with our own wee special songs. Oh, here, what time is it? Listen, everybody, it's 2:15. Oh, I think that's the postman. It's 2:15, folks. And you know what happens at 2 o'clock is supposed to be. You know the score now, everybody. It's time to, if I can remember how to do it, feed the dog. So there we go, one lucky person. Right, oh, there we go. Who was it? It was Spoggers39. So Pepper's currently barking at the postman, but that'll distract her. Here she comes. Toddle, toddle, toddle. Toddle, toddle, toddle. Food time for Pepper. There she's there. Thank you very much, Spoggers39, for feeding my dog. Yes, lad. Now, I do believe her cuddly toy called Diana could be in shot, and sometimes after her biscuits, she likes to shag Diana. So, we can keep watching for a wee bit, because when she does it, it's quite funny. Is Diana kicking about? Nah. Aye, Diana's there. Diana's the green thing that's just sort of behind her tail. Pepper, where's Diana? She going to do it? Look at how much weight she's lost. Which is great because she needed to. Pepper, where's Diana? You not into it? Ah, well, don't force it then. Don't, I know. Pepper, grow up, man. Stop. Pepper, you're in the push-up position, but I've never seen you do a push-up. You're so close. Pepper, do a push-up. There's Diana. Is she going to shag Diana? Nah, I walked right past her. Walked right past Diana. There we go. Spoggers, thank you very much for feeding my dog. Thank you very much. Pepper! Nobody cares, Pepper. Nobody cares. Grow up, buddy. Pepper, get a grip. You coming in? Come on there, pal. You coming in? Well, we'll get a cuddle. You coming up for cuddles? No, that was a no. That was a firm no. Come on then. Where are you? Come on, pal. She's just a bit rattled because the postman was there and she doesn't like the postman. See, every time there's somebody at the door, she goes mad. And it's messed up because it's almost never for her. Spoggers, thank you very much for gifting Pepper her lunch biscuits. Thank you very much. Need that mic fixed? We do need the mic fixed. Hey everybody, I've fixed the microphone in the loft as well, because remember that wasn't working. So microphone in the loft is fixed and it's absolutely perfect, and we can go live right now and we can hear some background ambient loft noise. Do you want to do that? Because I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm pretty confident that the background loft microphone is brilliant. Let's go over live to the loft mic just to see how it's doing, and let's go over now. I should put out that fire at some point. That's been going for months. Dearie me, dearie me. Pepper is so slim and trim. Aye. I'll need to show you a before and after. We took a photo the first day that we got her, because she used to be my gran's dog, and my gran would just feed her sausages and everything. My granny loved her. And so if my gran was eating, half the dinner would go to Pepper. And so she's a wee grubber. She likes her food, but it's no healthy for her. Excuse me, I rifted. Her belly was sort of sagging to the point it was kind of scraping along the floor. And in the past maybe year and a half, we've got her at a healthy weight. So it's really good. So hopefully she'll last a lot longer than she otherwise would have. Anyway, it's not getting old yet. It's really good, isn't it? It's really good. The fire should help with the printing temperature. Aye, 100%. Dearie me. okie dokie. So, I've got After Effects open, right? But I don't think he's wanting to see really much of After Effects. Maybe I should close After Effects and I will just show you the finished B. Dolan music video. Would you like to do that? Because I finished this a few hours ago. Stuck it on Instagram. Let's see. Dolan put a version on Instagram that was sort of unfinished, and it's been popping. It's had loads of attention, and in a lot of ways I wish that it was the finished version that was on instead of the unfinished version, because now the finished version's up, but it's no good news anymore. You know what I mean? It's no new news anymore, because everybody's already seen the unfinished one. So I've put it up on mine, and it's got 34 likes. I'll take that. But what I could do is show it to you lot, and you can tell me that it's just sensational and wonderful. What's happening just now though is After Effects is crashing, and I guess that's because I'm streaming with After Effects open. So what I'm going to do is force quit After Effects and hope that the project file doesn't get corrupted. Although the final render's been rendered, so I guess it is what it is. And I can show you the final music video, which was a wee bit of work, by the way. So it's on my desktop, and it's here. Here, who wants to see the brand new B. Dolan music video? It's called Fight Naked. It's in portrait format, and this stream is in widescreen format, so I don't really know if it's going to work. Also, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. Let's see if you can hear it. You can hear it, okay. So I'll full screen that, and then I'll go over to here. So it's a portrait music video. It's designed in response to the feed, basically. So see when you're scrolling on the feed, it's a song inspired by Luigi Mangione. Remember the guy who allegedly shot the CEO, but he didn't do it because he's innocent. And it's inspired by like the feed and memes, and so that's why it's in portrait. In fact, I don't want to talk too much about it. Let's just let's play it out. So this is a brand new video, just been made. Nobody's really seen this in its entirety. By B. Dolan, shot by a guy called, I can't remember his name. I should have it. I will find out who shot it when you are watching it, and it's by B. Dolan. The music is by B. Dolan, and it's on a label called Glaring Typo. Shot by Ronin347. Ronin347 is who shot it. I thought their username was something different. Anyway, without further ado, here is a brand new music video by me and some other people for B. Dolan. It's called Fight Naked.
From out the library, the future is non-binary. Behind every word another day is passed. Danger lays in the grass, and fortune favors a sociopath. Still on his past, still known to rock a mask. And write his raps in all caps as doom pass. People get excited when we cue up the boom bap. Woke up all the grown-ups like we bringing their youth back. Other half the crowd will look around like, yo, who's that? It's Jack Harlow's drunk uncle. It's David Tell's stunt double. It's the return of the lag. Grandpappy of the backwards hustle. Pastor up the loving room and loose enough to keep it moving like a muscle. The memory reflexively led me to get in trouble. I struggle to keep the peace around these nephews and nieces. They tell you Uncle B doesn't speak to no police. policemen, nah. And we ain't watching no more Paw Patrol either. They boycotting vegetables. I hit the squash in their quesadilla. Sent them home to hit the bong as a pain reliever. A little thing could be a great deceiver. Convince you that you're really sick when it's just a little hay fever. Supreme Queen Diva, pollinate the hive. Get the workers feeling fly. Drizzle honey on your humble pie. I'm just a fucking guy. People say he's pretty neat. I've been around the world, yet the cipher's incomplete. I'm known for jumping off the roof and landing on my feet. Conduct the heat while the drummer repeat. Can show you how to work it out, then let it breathe for a beat. Like, activate the Holy Spirit on these bitches.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
2 times, so your motherfucking mind's ready. The future is non-binary. Decline every invitation to the dance. Snatch the rhyme dictionary out your filthy little hands. Smash every false idol, leave my rivals in a trance. Redefine visionary, then reveal them with the glance. Can't quite explain the thrill of when you ripping up the party and catch a mad rapper whispering around his posse. Cause if you really focus with your vision very sharply, you can see the moment the ambition leaves the body. Sorry, I'm not sorry about the mics I drop, or that I load you into safety with the nice guy talk. It's the persona non grata, conversation non-starter. Guard your grill while I teach the metal how I get ill. Lacking skill on them records, but perfected the role play. Listen close till you hear the words that they don't say. Disrespect the show, become a victim of road rage. Nina Simone and Montreux, sitter, I don't play. Image is so fake, and then it the gold plate. You mimic your own base, so rigid you don't change. Stick to throwing rocks while you sniffing with old age. Still I pack a chisel, put a chip in your stone face. Crack a smile at you while I'm killing this whole game. All the same we lose as soon as we try playing. Subject to the rules, mistaken, our life's taken. Nothing we could do but act like we might make it. Sleep in the nude and prepare to fight naked. Fight naked. Fight naked.
So there you go. There you go. Shaggy says that transition between the viral clip and on-location shots of Dolan are smooth. Nice fucking work, Jimbo. It was brutal. It was kind of hard to do. If you're familiar with visual effects stuff, you will know that the success of the shot is entirely dependent on the footage, right? And I could have... See, because it was in Boston, I couldn't be there. And with stuff like that, it really helps if the person doing the visual effects is on set in like a visual effects supervisor role, so that you're certain that the footage that you get is going to work for what you intend to do, right? Because the person that shot it looks amazing. They're really good at making stuff. And their other work's fantastic. And they've got the handheld vibe and everything down. All of that's good. But there's certain bits that... So basically, when it was shot, they didn't know that I was going to be doing visual effects. So they were going to hide it just with a whip pan, right? So if you've got 2 shots and you want to put them seamlessly together, what you can do is just move the camera really quickly, and then in that motion of it moving quickly, when the motion blur's at its maximum, you can just sort of cut between it. And if you do it right, you can't tell that it's 2 separate shots. However, when I was chatting with Dolan, I was like, we need to do it. And I just volunteered my work, right? I was like, I need to do visual effects on this. He's like, what? And I'm like, I'm going to do visual effects on this. So I started on Friday, and I've just finished it maybe 4 hours ago. And he's like, no, it's all right. And he sent me a version, and it was just a hard cut. And I was like, no, man, give all the source footage. He's like, all right. So it ended up being really tricky because the footage wasn't shot with visual effects in mind. And so because of that, it ended up being complicated in post. So for a big bit of that, like, I mean, I can see the joins right now. They could be a wee bit better. But for what it is, it's like a web video. You know what I mean? And it's designed for the feed and all of that. And when somebody's half watching it, I think it'll work. I think it does the job all right. In an ideal world, we could reshoot it, but for all the effort that's been put into it just now, I'm like, right, I just want to walk away from it and do something else. But I'm quite happy with it. I think if I don't look at it for about 6 hours and then watch it again, I'll like it a lot more than what I currently do. But because I've just been staring at this all weekend, I can only see the bits that I'm like, But it was a series of compromises, and particularly the second transition. See, when we go back to Dolan, that was about 90% of the work. So I had to completely cut him out and totally recreate the background for that. And then luckily, he sort of comes close to the camera and goes away. And that gave me an opportunity to wipe the background behind him from the fake background back to the footage stuff. But I think it works good. I'm quite happy with it. So I stuck it on Instagram, so you can see the full thing on Instagram. Give me digital vertigo. Aye, it's given me vertigo as well. I jest, it's great. I hate whip pans, but really hate zoom blurs. They spin me out. Well, there are different things in there that isn't a full whip pan and isn't a full zoom blur, but there's digital zooms in there. There's a lot of masking in there. There's roto in there. There's generative stuff in there. I chucked everything at it to get it done over a weekend. And it works. And it's like, I just want to walk away from it now and then check it out in the future. It does the job more than alright. Nice one. I did not see any editing. That's a winner. Well, it was difficult making it a winner because both bits. So basically you've got, at the start, you've got the viral cop slide video. Then joined onto that is Dolan rapping. Then I needed to join Dolan rapping back onto the start of the cop slide video. And that was difficult because the trees in the background are different now. One plate, the trees are brown because it's autumn. And another plate, the trees are green because it's summer. But I've managed to, I did like a wee digital zoom, and on the zoom is where the switch happens. So you kind of don't see it, unless you've been staring at it for a full weekend and you know where to look, then you will see it. And then joined onto that, so that, where did we get up to? The second cop slide video. And then joined onto that, we go back round to Dolan. But when we go back round to Dolan, the camera's moving this way. But on the bit of footage that I've got for Dolan, it starts off the camera's moving that way. So if I sort of merged them together, you've seen quite an obvious fuck like that. And it just looked like a bad edit. So what I had to do for that, the camera's moving that way, completely cut around Dolan, but it's filmed vertical as well and he goes out of frame quite a bit. So I cut him out, went into Photoshop, created like a background plate that is painted and it looks awful, but in context you can't see it and it's sort of seamless. And so I had to animate the camera moving the other way and then sort of stabilise Dolan. And then on a layer over that, take the camera motion from the second. It was a pain in the arse. It was a right pain in the arse is what it was. But I can't complain because I volunteered to do it. And I quite like how it's turned out. Venturi44, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. How's it going, Venturi44? Maximum respect to you. Thank you very much. If you're just in, we have just viewed the brand new B. Dolan music video. Thank you very much, Venturi44, for 21 months. You're a legend, and I appreciate that. And we got another bubble blast. This is Venturi44's screen time. Thank you very much once again. And we have got a sub from Fat Dad. Hello, Fat Dad. How you doing? Thank you very much for 31 months. Excellent logo. A job well done. Looked class. Have some bubbles. Thank you very much. I quite enjoyed, because the idea is if that comes on somebody's feed, because it's all inspired by social media and all the crap that you see on your feed when you're doom scrolling or whatever. So I like the idea that it could surprise somebody, and when they're scrolling, they will see the cop slide video, which is a famous meme, but then it extends further. And I like the idea of putting visual effects. I was going to say Hollywood style visual effects, but that sort of sounds like I'm bigging myself up. But you know what I mean? Visual effects that have got some hours put into it that you don't usually see on the context of like meme stuff. But to put that time into that context till it recontextualize it and turn it into, what's it called, transformative content. But I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I just need a big sleep because it sort of messed my sleep up a wee bit. You see the joins because you've got the hours in the seat cutting the footage together, but as one creative to another, it's tremendous. Thank you, Shaggis. Thank you very much. Cheers, everybody. Thank you very much. Every great artist and creator needs someone in their life to tell them to stop and that it's finished. 100%. Thank you, everybody. Generally watched it multiple times to work out if it had been recreated for real. It would be a wee bit easier. See if we just found a cop or somebody in a cop costume or whatever, it would have been easier to do. But they wouldn't have got the famous thing. There was a shot where... So the only takes I was given were the 2 takes that I used. And then there was a third take where it goes back... Camera goes back to the slide for the second time, and just a guy comes out it. I'll see if I can find it, actually. I mean, this is Dolan's content, you know what I mean? So it's maybe not cool for me to show yous, but it goes back to the work cop slide. I don't know where it would be. Just some guy pops out the slide and Dolan goes up to him like a stranger. Dolan's like, yes! The guy's like, what? Dolan's like, yes! Shakes his hand and then turns around and starts rapping again. It's brilliant. I think I will wait. I will leave that content and you can watch it on Dolan's stream instead. Jim Hollywood Houston. I'm related to Hogan as well. Weeshed says, aye, it was okay. Thank you, Weeshed. Topic shift, but how funny is it? Over half of the biggest MAGA Twitter accounts aren't even American. Aye, that's something special, isn't it? That's interesting. Okay, I was going to start talking about that reform candidate that's got done because he was taking Russian bribes. But I don't want to talk about that because it's boring and it'll get all my jimmies rustled. But, so for a while on Twitter, right, for a couple of days, they released a new feature where you could click on anybody's account and it would tell you the country where the account was registered and the country where that account it tweets from, right? And it turns out that a lot of the pro-Trump, pro-MAGA accounts are all from like a social media farm in Bangladesh. The Department for Homeland Security in America, their official account was registered to Israel. And so when that happened, I was like, oh, I wonder if... ... So I went in, I tried to find all the biggest pro-Brexit accounts that I could, just to see where they were from. Then I was thinking, well, what about all these Scottish independence accounts? Where are all of they from? And as soon as I started researching, the feature on Twitter was blocked again. So they activated it, and then it's now been unactivated. So I couldn't really dig for a local view of if we've been manipulated by social media accounts internationally. But that's interesting. I didn't know Bangladesh did that. I thought all the online content farms was mainly China and Russia for the political stuff. But they might be behind it, and it's maybe just been outsourced to Bangladesh because it's maybe cheaper to get them to do that there. I'm not too sure. But it's interesting, isn't it? How things that we think are true on the internet might just be fabricated with robots or very low-paid labourers that are sitting controlling 50 phones at one time or whatever. Very interesting. Anyway, imagine Musk has been a lefty plant this whole time to make the right look like gonks. Aye, like 4D chess. Who knows? Thought it was back on now. Is it? I'm not too sure. I've mainly had my head in Adobe After Effects for the past 12 hours, so I'm not too sure. Spogger says, activated it, panicked because it exposed all the manipulation, then removed it. As far as I was aware, that's what happened, but then it might be now back, I see. I'm not too sure. I read a theory, because everybody's like, why would Twitter decide to expose the country of origin of all these accounts? Why would they want to do that? Because if you think Elon Musk, right, he's on the right now. You could say the far right, because he was saying all this nonsense. Remember he did Nazi salutes and shit, right? So you could say he's on the far right. And he was cozying up with different far-right populist groups in Germany and the UK and America. He's trying to like get into all of that. And so why would he expose the accounts of all of that? And I was reading, and somebody said that it might be, and this is just somebody's opinion, so there's no evidence or proof for it, right? But it sounds good, so I'll repeat it. It might be that somebody, like a hacker, had found this information and was threatening to expose it, or was going to expose it. And so to prevent that from being a story, Twitter just implemented the feature themselves. You know what I mean? That seems like the only credible reason why I would think that they would do that. But because it doesn't serve Musk's agenda to expose all the people who were supporting for the ideology that he's behind are all actually, you know, just in a big content farm in Bangladesh. That's why they've all got no profile picture or generic profile pictures or whatever, because they're not really real people. They're folk that are puppeteering multiple accounts to pervert public perception of support for some of the worst ideas we've ever had. That's cool, isn't it? The fact that that's happening and is real. Something to think about. Back again now, everyone has had time to manipulate their location. Well, apparently, if you hide behind a VPN, there's a wee logo that pops up. So it's an exclamation mark logo pops up. Twitter has said, though, since they removed it, that it will be back, if it isn't already back, it might be currently back. However, politicians, their location won't be exposed for security reasons. Twitter has said that. And the implication there is that they know that this feature is a security concern. And so, obviously, they don't mind exposing a security concern for accounts owned by the likes of you or I. But if it's an account owned by a politician, we'll make allowances there for you to hide your country of origin. It's a wee bit suspicious, isn't it? Here, see, the more I learn about this Twitter company, the more I think they might be at it, by the way. I think they are at it. But anyway, honestly, I think Musk is stupid enough to think that the only left-leaning accounts are bots. I don't know. Chameleon, do you think he's stupid or do you think he's malicious? Because he's got a lot of money, right? And usually, to be that rich, I mean, it's maybe both. He's maybe stupid and malicious. Oh, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I'm getting my jimmies rustled. My funniest auto mod trigger yet. I can't see it on this end. I'm sure it was great, Carivore. Nick Nell says, the best bit is we've known about it for 10 years and everyone seems surprised about it again. Well, there's lots of stuff that we know, right? But then there isn't the smoking gun proof for. This is how things work online. Same way, you know, all the nasty stuff that's came out about the Andrew, formerly known as Prince Andrew, where everybody knew about it, But the other side will be like, no, that's a conspiracy theory. No, 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 no. And then evidence comes out and folks say, see, I told you. And the other side will be like, aye, that's old news though. We've known about it for years. And it's the same thing here. That argument is a way of controlling the narrative. So just because somebody's known about something forever doesn't mean that you should then negate when you've got actual physical proof of that thing happening. Because that argument there is then used to sort of quash the story a bit, and certain stories do need to be... sometimes you have to say, I told you so. Sometimes that's the right thing to do. Anyway, I think he's both. I think he is as well. Musk doesn't have any ideology except whatever enriches him further. I mean, he does seem... he's just dodgy, isn't he? Everything I've heard from space industry buds is that he's stupid and everyone thinks he's a mug. Dear me. I'd agree with you there, Dwayne Dibley. They stripped him of his titles a few days before those emails came out. They knew or they were tipped off. Who knows, man? So that's what's been happening on the internet. So that is one of the reasons why I've been burying my head in projects. So did the Be Dolan thing. I think that's done. I'm not going to go anywhere near it again. That's done, finished. It's on Instagram. I've decided to use Instagram as kind of like my portfolio. So anytime I finish a thing or I've documented something that is a work in progress, I will stick it on Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm going to probably be posting there a lot more than I've been posting on Twitter. I've been on Twitter since 2006 and it was great for a long time and then it got pure shite. So I'm thinking about moving to Instagram because I think it's less shite than Twitter. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I am 1030JH or JH if that's how you say those letters. Get me followed, everybody. I read a thing that said that SpaceX have separate project managers to keep Space Karen away from anything important. It's mad, isn't it? All these billionaires are often just like toddlers with loaded guns. And, right, like, his perception of the world has to be vastly different from our perception of the world. Everybody he knows on a first-person basis has to be just soaking up his arse. Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Musk. Oh, what a fantastic idea. You're right. In order to just maybe get some cash off him. I'm not saying that he's a victim of a social bubble that he's in, because the guy's obviously he's a bad guy. But I wonder how we can prevent bad guys for just... It's like a slippery slope, isn't it? As soon as you're in that position of getting glazed constantly, it'll just reinforce your terrible beliefs because nobody's going to hold you to account. Anyway, I'm getting my jimmies rustled. I'm talking about Elon Musk again. I made a video once and a big account reposted it on Twitter and Elon Musk liked that post. So Elon Musk has seen my face and in the video I give this stream's URL, twitch.tv/1030. So Elon Musk has saw me sitting in this seat giving my URL to the camera, twitch.tv/1030. So he might have came over, he might have bookmarked it. He might be in chat right now. It's not impossible to think that because I know for certain, because he liked that video, I know for certain he saw my face, he saw this Twitch stream, and he's heard the URL. So, if you are currently watching Elon Musk, stop it. Stop it. Bad. Just see if that works. See if that works. Do you think that might work? Bad. Might work. Worth a shot is worth a shot. Aye, and give me money. Give some of your money. Do you feel a bit bad because you've got all this money? Give me some of it. That'll make you feel better. I will take some of your money, please. And I will absolve you of, like, I will think you're cool. Here, do you want somebody to think you're cool? I'll think you're cool if you give me some of your money. Elon Musk. Worth a shot. Anybody else get any more good news or anything? I think I've told you everything that I'm up to. I want to show you these again because I'm really happy with these. Look at these wee fiducial markers. So I think I've told you all about this project. I've authored it to a proper exe file. So it's nearly a functional application. When it's an application, I've got a slight problem that it's not saving all the configuration to the correct place. So I need to fix that. That'll probably take me a couple of days to figure out how to do all of that. Then after that point, the application should be ready for testing. So I want to test it on the computer upstairs. When I was first using the application, it was all running on the CPU and it worked, right? But I went into Task Manager and my CPU would go up to like 40% just with the application open. And now that is totally fixed. So now I've figured out a better way of doing it without any compromises. And the CPU just doesn't, you can't even see that the application is open, which is quite good. It used to be running at 60 frames a second. Now it's doing the detection maybe twice a second. But the camera is still smooth and stuff because I'm using exponential scaling. So it's like it eases in and it looks great, man. It looks really good. I'm really happy with it. I once tweeted about Piers Morgan being a twat and Pablo Escobar's son liked it. Wow, Dwayne Dibley, that's cool. Have I got anything in comparison? Uri Geller blocked me. That was kind of cool because I called him a fanny. He posted proof that aliens are real. And it was actually a production shot for the X-Files. So I just posted the same photo for a different angle with like Mulder in the background. I'm like, you're a fanny, this is for the X-Files. He blocked me. So Uri Geller has heard, or well, saw me call him a fanny, and it's annoyed him enough for him to block me. So that's kind of cool. Oh, what's the guy? Scottish guy. He's got a stupid hat. He drank milk on Big Brother. What's the name of the guy? I've not slept for a while. But he blocked me as well because I said that he had a silly hat. So that's good. What's the name of that guy? It's on the tip of my tongue. George Galloway. Yep, George Galloway. I posted the meme of like Clark Gable in a really cool hat. And it says, what you think you look like. And then next to it is just a Redditor with like a really cheap fedora. And underneath, what you actually look like. And it annoyed him enough that he blocked me. Jerry Adams once tweeted a photo of my mate Tony. That was fun. That was a good day. I've still got that screenshotted. I can't believe it. What else? See, these are the reasons why I love Twitter. Or, well, I loved Twitter. This is in the era before Elon Musk. And it's why I've really tried to stay on Twitter for as long as I have. Because I was there before he was. And it used to be bloody brilliant. And then he came and he just... It smells of farts now. You know? So I think I'm officially moving over to Instagram. But I've been saying that for about 2 years now. I hope that maybe one day he might sell it off and that'll be that, but I'm not too sure. Dear me. One time I used shit and Phil Jupitus in the same tweet, blocked ever since. Well, Plodder, I've heard... will it be libelous for me to say that? Will it be libelous for me to say it? I saw him once in Dundee. What if I type in Phil Jupitus accused? Alright, well that's a different accusation than I thought. Anyway, you can make your own searches. Phil Jupitus allegedly. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this. But he did get, I think, double cancelled, didn't he? So there's a thing about a car accident that I didn't know about. I was thinking about something else, his behaviour around something, but I don't want to say it out loud because I'm not 100% sure of what it is. But I think that's one of the reasons why he's no longer on telly. So I think you might be kind of valid in what you might have said to him, maybe allegedly. I don't know about these things. Do your own research. Chameleon says, the only good news is that my Analog 3D arrived. I set it up and it works as expected. The flash card I have doesn't work, but the Summer Cart 64 does, it seems, so I've ordered one of them off AliExpress. All the very best to you, Chameleon. I've heard as well that the Analog team are quite good with their firmware updates, so there might be a point where the one that you do have might work again. You never know. I've been looking into VR, everybody, right? So I was in CEX. You're familiar with CEX. And the current VR headset that seems to be a good buy, that everybody thinks is good, is the Oculus Quest. There's different versions of it, right? I really want to play Half-Life Alyx. So I was looking at an old second-hand Oculus Quest, and it's still far too expensive, right? I want to play about with VR, but I don't have that much money lying about. I'm not doing it, okay? But I was considering it, well, not considering it, but thinking about it for a couple of days. And I was thinking, right, maybe I buy it, I play Half-Life Alyx on stream, then I sell it. And then I'm like, I'm not going to sell it though. See if I've got one. I'm going to use it to watch films and stuff, and then I'll keep it in a box or whatever. And you get it, right? But then you have to buy a cable that costs a lot of money. It's like, it could be up to 80 quid for a cable, right? In addition to that, you can have like the Pro strap to strap it onto your head, which implies that the strap that it comes with is a bit rubbish. In addition to that, I wear glasses, right? So there's different considerations that you need to make if you wear glasses. You can buy extra spacers, or some come in the box with it. But if I'm buying it second hand, it might not come with the correct spacers and all of that. So I was looking online, and there's one in a Black Friday discount sale. But even then, it's like fucking 400 odd quid or something. No, not a chance. Can't do it. Simply can't do it. However, because I've been looking at all this stuff on YouTube, right? There was a video came to me on YouTube saying right now is a good time to get into VR. And I'm like, all right, clicked it. So a new piece of software has came out. And again, you'll need to do your research here. I didn't know I was going to be talking about this, so I don't know all the names for everything. But a new piece of software has came out written by one of the former developers for the Microsoft VR Windows plugin thing, whatever. There's a type of VR or AR integrated into Windows somewhere, apparently. And one of the developers that worked on that has, in the past few months, released a piece of software that now allows older VR headset to work where it previously couldn't work. So there's two headsets that you can get quite cheap now. You can get them second hand. I say quite cheap. Like a lot of people on eBay, I looked on eBay and they didn't have any. Looked on CEX, they had one, but it was in like Basildon or something like that. So I forget the names. And one's by HP something's Odyssey. One of them's called the Odyssey something. Odyssey Plus. So there's a headset called the Odyssey Plus. And you can get, if you're lucky, you can get one for about 60 quid on eBay, right? Because a lot of people that are selling them don't know that you can download this new bit of software that now makes it able to work. Because previously it was locked into old software or something. So one of the good ones is the Odyssey Plus. Then there's a different one, it's like the HP G3 or something like that. That one's kind of good as well. And now with this new bit of software, they work. And one of the models I was talking about has actually got OLED screens inside, which are better screens than your Oculus Quest, because Oculus Quest has only got backlit screens. These ones have got actual OLED screens. And if you're lucky, you can get a second-hand one on eBay for about 60 quid. So I'm quite excited about that. The downside is, because they are old tech, right, the joysticks are a bit rubbish. So they come with 2 joysticks, but in order for the tracking to work correctly, the joysticks kind of need to be within your eyesight. So you could be playing away, like you couldn't play Beat Saber, for example, properly without getting annoyed, because your hand would go way up here, and as soon as it goes up here, you're out of it, right? It's only for plugging into your computer as well. You couldn't really lie in bed and watch a film, for example, unless you had your computer linked in, right? So that's another downside. But for 60 quid, if I can get one for that price, I think that could be kind of good. So I've got an eBay alert set up. I shouldn't have told you lot, because now you lot will have an eBay alert set up. But the last VR headset I used was the Oculus Rift back in the day. How long ago was that? It's about 15 years ago? Maybe 20 years ago? Nah. So a wee while ago anyway. And it was really good, really compelling. So I would like, you know me, I'm a computer technologist, tinkerer sort of guy. I think I should have access to a VR headset. There's cool stuff that I want to try out in VR, like VR CAD, 3D work, even like game development, SCUD, all of that sort of stuff. I think I would really quite enjoy it. So if I can make it work for free or cheap, then I'm going to really give it a shot. Since I'm talking about it, I'm going to go on YouTube, right? And I'm going to see if I can find, let's go into my history. And I'm going to see if I can find the video that I was talking about, where a guy is telling you, PC VR is really cheap right now. Brackets,
Newsflash!
Maybe. So here's a dude. Here he is right here. And I think I couldn't find any of these for sale, right? So I think maybe some of the models are only American. And so I wonder if they've got UK names, or maybe they were only released in America or something. Newsflash, says Bowdy. What's happening? If you've got news, has news just happened? Or did you say that in reference to if somebody died or something? Newsflash! Can't you say anything on Twitter? Let me know if anything good's happening in the world. I have seen the price of RAM. I'm very good. Oh, when you clicked the video, it shouted newsflash. Sorry about that. I'm very glad that just a couple of weeks ago, I bought the RAM that I needed for my bubble robot. So I'm going to be working on the bubble robot over Christmas.
If you want a PC VR setup, they are stupid cheap right now.
Sorry if that
I'm
was
talking
loud.
like 60, 70 bucks. There are caveats, and we'll get to those, but this is the real deal. For some context, Windows Mixed Reality was a VR standard that Microsoft pushed for back in 2017 to 2020. Basically, they made the software platform and other manufacturers would make the hardware. It never really took off, and Microsoft more or less bricked all of the headsets last year by removing the mixed reality support from Windows.
So that's it. So a lot of headsets worked in Windows, then Microsoft, being Microsoft, removed the support for them. But now, newsflash, there is a type of software that makes it work again.
But recently, a Microsoft employee independently developed and released the Oasis driver, which...
Look at this, looks legit, Comic Sans. So with this driver, it means lots of old headsets that the owners might think are gubbed and useless, now they will work again with this new driver. So it might be worth looking at this list of headsets. Because they're older headsets, they obviously won't be as good as if you were to buy an Oculus Quest or something like that. The new Steam one does look great, but I think it will be a lot of money.
makes the headsets almost plug and play with Steam VR. You can get them up and running in minutes, meaning that all of those headsets that
See, this that he can see, I couldn't see any on eBay.
people started selling off for peanuts because it didn't work anymore, suddenly work again. So what do you need for this? Well, compatibility is a bit specific right now. The short version is that if you're on Windows 11 and you have an NVIDIA GPU,
Yep.
then you're good.
That's me. That's me. I'm green.
At the time of writing, support for AMD GPUs is a bit of a work in progress, so do your research if you have one of those. Windows 10 isn't officially supported, but it's what I'm using and it mostly works fine for me, aside from sometimes locking up my computer when I plug the headset in. Your mileage may vary on that, and you definitely shouldn't submit bug reports or anything if you aren't on 11. You also need Bluetooth, but it doesn't really matter how you make that happen. Motherboard Bluetooth or most dongles should be fine. Just know that the integrated Bluetooth that some of these headsets have will not work here. I'm going to elaborate on this a lot, but I'll cut to the chase and say that if you're mainly interested in seated VR or you just want to play a few specific PC games, this may genuinely be a good option for you.
So, as I said, it's not very good for games where you're standing up, Beat Saber, all that sort of stuff. But I'm not really interested in that. I'm quite interested in, imagine Euro Truck Sim in VR. That could be cool. I'm thinking about it for stream content. And Half-Life Alyx as well, I think would be really good.
It also might not. I'm not going to mince words. There are reasons that this whole platform died out, but for these prices?
The reasons are the controllers are a bit shite when you stand up.
Shoot, they can be pretty good. If you want to pick up a mixed reality headset, you're going to have a lot of choices. All of them work, but some are much better than others. I recommend checking the Wikipedia page for a good ride.
So I need to look at this Wikipedia page and find a good one, but he's going to say the two that I was trying to remember the name of.
Up, but the short version is that you probably want a Samsung Odyssey or an HP Reverb.
That's it. Samsung Odyssey Plus or HP Reverb. I want one of them.
Ideally, the Odyssey Plus
for a cheap price.
Or Reverb G2. These have the best displays, good...
Bowdy's got a link. Almost missed that link there. I'm clicking it, but it's not coming up. I've got technology issues. Oh no! Now there's a separate browser that's launched about 6 copies of the link. Fucking hell! Lenovo Explorer for 14 quid. I mean, that's not one of the ones that he says. Now it looks like my postcode's here, but this isn't my actual postcode, so I don't mind showing it to you. 14 quid. So is this in one of the links that he was talking about? That's pretty good for 14 quid. Even if it isn't. So the two there, the Odyssey Plus and the Reverb, seem to be like really quite sensational visual quality. So if I could get one of them, that would be cool. But this would be worth a bash for 14 quid, wouldn't it? Although now that I've said that on stream, it ends in 14 minutes, so one of you lot will probably snag that. I'll maybe have a wee look off stream and see if HP Reverb VR for 35 quid. Oh, here. Just pretend, submit bid, ends in 21 hours. I'll keep a wee eye on that. Don't use bid on that, right? Don't use bid on that, I want that one. And it means that we could do VR on stream without me paying hundreds of pounds. And it's the sort of thing, they're that cheap that I might as well give it a bash, you know? And worst case scenario, it'll be useful for something. That's exactly what he was talking about. I more or less Windows Mixed Reality, 100%. So there are many, so this link here, this page here that he was on about documents all the ones that are possible to work, and there are lots that will work on it, but he reckons these two are just the best hardware that you can get that are on that list. Some of them are alright, some of them are kinda good. These are the ones that's kinda good. None of them are pure amazing. However, in this video, and we won't watch the full video, he goes on to talk about how one of these have actually got better visuals than the Meta Quest. The actual screen on it is an OLED screen rather than an LCD screen, which means the blacks look rich and deep, so it would be a wee bit better for watching movies and stuff. However, the resolution isn't as good, so it's a bit of a trade-off. But to buy an HP, to buy All the names are stupid, man. To buy an Oculus Quest, you're talking hundreds of pounds, whereas to buy one of these, it could be under 20 quid that we've just seen. So that's kind of good, isn't it? I just got one of the Lenovo ones for 40 quid. Like just there, just right here, right there. No bother, Bowdy, it's absolutely cool. I don't mind the links. Thanks very much for chugging it over. Well, let me know how you got on with it. That could be cool. We could all get into VR. But that's quite exciting, isn't it? My sim rig is about to get an upgrade. Well, see if I had the room, Shaggis, what I'd quite like to do is go to a scrapyard, right? And get an old car seat. My uncle did this for his computer chair, because his computer chair broke. And so he went to a scrapyard, got a driver's seat for a Scania lorry. He's not into VR or anything like that. He just wanted it for his computer chair. I think he even had a seatbelt as well, because he could weld. And he just welded a swivel base onto like a car seat. And it was pretty cool, man. Did you search for Quest 2, the older version? I have one and it works well with Alex. Are they that much, or were you searching for the Quest 3? Well, I was just looking for the Quest 3. I've not really looked at the Quest 2 that much. But you're right. You're right. I think I'll broaden my horizons. If I can get one for like 50 quid or less, that could be kind of cool. I've not really given it much thought in terms of cross-referencing all of the hardware specifications and all that sort of stuff. I looked for these two and couldn't really see anything. But that was a couple of days ago, so it'd be worth staying on to. But I check out this video if you're into it. It's Madman Epic is the uploader, and the title of this video is PC VR is really cheap right now, brackets maybe? So give it a wee shot, and it might be a cheap way to get into VR if you aren't already. It's cool, isn't it? It's kind of cool. And maximum respect to the developer who released this Oasis driver. Because now, this Oasis driver, which I believe is free, allows Steam VR and a lot of headsets that previously were incompatible. That just came out at the end of August there. So maximum respect to you, Matthew Buchanari. Maximum respect, Matthew Buchanari, for releasing that. And now you can use Windows Mixed Reality with older headsets that were previously paperweights. So the dream is that somebody somewhere has got one of them and it stopped working because Microsoft stopped support. So they're thinking, well, this is useless now. Popped it on eBay for $5. But now this driver's out, so you can take it, install a driver, you can make it work. Is it going to be as good as the brand new Steam headset? No, it isn't going to be as good as that. Is it going to be comparable to the Apple Vision Pro? Certainly not. No, it isn't. But is it worth 50 quid? Aye. Depending on how heavily the former owner smoked. Aye, it probably is worth 50 quid. So I might try and get a cheap one of them and over Christmas play a wee bit of VR stuff. That could be kind of cool. Is the Apple Vision Pro not dead yet? Well, they came out with an updated version of it just recently. But the updated version, they didn't update all the bad bits. They only put in a new chip. So the chip that's inside is faster than what it was previously. But they didn't do anything to reduce the price, which is kind of the deal breaker for the Apple Vision Pro. If I was in charge of Apple, here's what I would do with the Vision Pro. It's made out of glass so that people who aren't in VR can see a screen on the front with your eyeballs in it. And that is quite an Apple thing, because they recognise that somebody wearing a VR headset, that's like a barrier, and it's a wee bit Black Mirror. You know what I mean? Imagine a child walking into the room and their parents are just in a VR headset and they're being ignored and all of that sort of stuff. That's kind of depressing and a Black Mirror vibe and not at all Apple, right? So what Apple did was put a screen on the outside that shows the wearer's eyes simulated, so as that you can kind of make eye contact with your child or something like that, so as that it isn't creepy or weird at all. But all of that technology for most of us is kind of useless and rubbish. And it makes the headset really heavy. And I'd imagine it costs quite a bit of money. Like, we don't need that. We don't need that. So the Apple VR is all glass, and what isn't glass is aluminium, right? Because Apple doesn't want to make stuff with plastic, because plastic is bad, right? But plastic is also maybe the best material for a VR headset. See anything wearable? If you think of the Apple headphones, the EarPods, they're made out of plastic. Because things like, it's a lot better to have plastic touching your skin, or, you know, you're wearing plastic, than it is metal. So hopefully, because all the software and stuff on the Apple Vision Pro looks great. Looks really good. It's not there yet. There isn't a YouTube app. Certain other things are a bit dodgy. But in terms of the hand gestures and the spatial tracking and stuff like that, it's a very, very good bit of technology. But you would expect it's a good bit of technology because it's like $4,500 or something. So you would hope that it's a good bit of technology. It's not comparable to this stuff, right? But it's for a different thing. The stuff that I've showed you in that video there is for playing video games connected to your computer. So that's like a gaming VR headset. Whereas the Apple Vision Pro is kind of like a wearable computer, in that you don't need to be tethered to a real computer, and you can use it to do all the things when you're walking about and cooking and all of that sort of, I don't know, Apple lifestyle shit. And the hardware is a lot better, the screens are a lot better and stuff like that. But as far as I'm aware with Apple, there's no way of directly wiring it into your computer to play games. You can wirelessly play games, but I think that would add a bit of latency and stuff. The new Steam VR headset is for playing games. The mixed reality in that isn't that good because it's a black and white thing. So if you're looking at the room that you're in, you will only see it in black and white, because Steam have geared that towards people who want to play games. Valve is a gaming company, so that's who that's for, you know. So not all VR headsets are made for the same purpose, is what I've learned. But this video is kind of cool, man. So the Oasis driver might be worth picking up a headset for like 5 or 6 years ago. If you can get one for cheap, try that out, see how you got on. Better get busy with your neck muscle exercises, 10:30. Those things are heavy after a while. See, just sitting here on this stream, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got a sore neck right now, so this maybe isn't for me. It might help, actually. Hello, Valdrakian, how you doing? What's happening in the world of 10:30? Well, Valdrakian, today on stream, I've just filled everybody in with some projects that I'm doing. Created some fiducial markers for an application that I'm developing that allows people who stream using a top-down camera to crop into their desk just by moving these markers on their desk. So I've developed an application that should be coming out in a week or so, depending on when I've got time to build that. That's going very well. I've created an open source electrolyte drink mix that involves creatine and changes colour when you add raspberry juice to it. I'm writing that up. That'll be going online in the next couple of days. It also includes an online calculator so that it can adjust the recipe bespoke for yourself based on your own particular needs. I've also just premiered a world's first exclusive of the brand new music video that I finished for B. Dolan that inserts him into the cop slide meme of the Boston slide thing. And that took a wee bit of work, so that just went live a couple hours ago. And I found a good way of getting into VR for very little money, comparatively. So I've been thinking about that. And I think that's everything. Was there anything else, everybody? Was there anything else? I can't remember if there was anything else, but that's enough things. That is enough things. Have they made a phone out of 100% recycled material yet, unless that's impossible? I'm not too sure beneath the headphones. I think the chips and stuff, the silicone wafers, if it's a new phone, couldn't really be recycled, but I mean, to give Apple credit, they are sort of trying in a lot of places to use recycled stuff wherever possible and whatever, but they're still making some bad ideas. Like, see, the Vision Pro thing could be half the price if they just get rid of the eyeball feature. I'll watch that back when you're done the stream. Dynamite, Valdrakian. Loft mic upgrade. Oh, the microphone in the loft's working great. Let's go over to the loft and we will have a wee look and I will demonstrate how you can just hear the ambient noise in the loft and nothing is terrible and it's working fantastic. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. VR does sound good, just whether it makes you feel sick or not. Some seem to induce it and others are fine. Aye, totally. It's all about the latency, isn't it? Ah, right, LKGDDR. It's good to know though, definitely. I was telling a friend about the electrolyte stuff and they're like, oh, can I take potassium if I'm on this medication? They're on sertraline. And I'm like, I don't know actually. And I looked it up. And they can, but for other medications, you need to be careful about your potassium intake. So there's all of that sort of stuff that I think I need a big disclaimer when I'm putting this out. But I quite like the idea of creating an open source recipe for a product that folk are just ripping people off with. It does have benefit, but if I just put the recipe online. Also, my version changes colour, and I didn't expect it to, and it's a bit weird that it does, but I looked it up and it's fine that it does that. Dearie me. Oh, I've got a sore back, everybody. I don't know if I can stream for much longer. At least there's no birds up there today. Oh, aye. So, I've also created a birdhouse. I've showed you my birdhouse, haven't I? So, I've got what I need to do, I've got a Wi-Fi camera inside a birdhouse in my garden so we can spy on the wee birds when they come in. However, they probably won't nest until like March or something like that. I was thinking, I spent a couple of days trying to get the camera feed of my Wi-Fi camera into OBS. But it's a mad Chinese application that demands that you use their own app for it. And they've blocked all possibility of getting, like, just hacking into the feed. So what I need to do is install an Android emulator onto my phone, log into their, Android emulator on my computer, log into their app on the computer, and then I can just show you that screen, and that'll be a way of live seeing the Nest. So this is what the camera looks like. This isn't live just now. Hold on, I know you can't see it. There we go. This is what the camera looks like. This isn't live, but if it was live, that's what the camera would look like, because there isn't any wee birdies in it. There's no, don't tweet that, Carnivore. There isn't any wee birdies in it just now, so even if it was live, that's what you would get, because you can't see anything. And the reason I did that is because we had a blue tit in the loft, and he came back 3 times, and I kept getting rid of him. I kept hunting him out the loft, and I felt a bit bad. So I got a wee birdhouse for him to go in. Looks like this. And so what I've been reading is he's probably just going into the loft for a heat. He's not nesting because he doesn't need a nest just now. He's probably got his own nest elsewhere. And the reason he's going into the loft is just for a wee heat. But if it turns out he goes into the birdhouse just now, then the chances of him nesting in the birdhouse in February, March time is a lot higher. But he's not been in the birdhouse, he's not given it a wee look. I just wanted him to give it a wee shufty. So it is what it is. By the way, when I was in CEX, I saw this. It's a Blackmagic Ursa Mini 4K cinema camera for 690 quid. And I was very conflicted, man. Like, I don't have 690 quid, but I very nearly walked out of the shop with this. But I used restraint. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't ask what it came with, if it had any battery mounts or grips or cables or converters or lenses or anything like that. But it's a good camera, man. It can shoot 4K, 60 FPS. Buying a camera like that for CEX seems like a bad idea. Well, I don't know. I think it would be better getting it from CEX because it's a high street shop. So their return policy, you know, you could take it to a small claims court or an ombudsman. Is that the right word for that? Whereas if you bought it off eBay and it turns out somebody just thumbed the sensor, chances of returning something on eBay are quite dodgy. Whereas I was thinking CEX, but it is 690 quid, so chase yourself. But if you go on eBay, they can go for $3,000 or $4,000 or something. They offer a 2-year warranty. By law you have to. I think isn't it a 5-year warranty? Just because we're better. I might be wrong about that, but I'm not too sure. If that had been 200, you'd definitely walked out with that. Maybe grateful it was that expensive. Well, 690 quid is expensive, but not for that. That is cheap. It's not a cheap item, but for that item, that is a cheap price for it, you know, especially if it came with batteries and stuff. Like a new battery for one of them is about 200 or 300 quid. And for double that, you can buy the camera body. My God, man. So I was just kind of stressed out. Rachel's like, are you okay? I'm like, aye. But I was all conflicted. So that's what I've been thinking about, man. But it is what it is. Am I right, everybody? It is what it is. Dearie me. Been doing a bit of posing. Just doing some posing. Went to Bali. And just doing a bit of posing next to a fountain. Look at that. That's what I've been up to. What else? Did some other stuff. After CEX, I kind of got dressed up in some denims and went into a warehouse and hung out with some wolves. It's me just chilling with wolves. That's Gary. He's cool, man. But other than that, just sort of been cutting about, playing with my fiducial markers. I did the Dolan music video as well. I went up a tune to meet my Dan Spoons, and Balenciaga gave me like a wee outfit to wear, so I stuck that on. Went up to Spoons, my Balenciaga. Gave that a wee shot. Something different into it, troops. But other than that, mainly just watching the X-Files. Creating my special electrolyte juice. Doing birdhouse stuff. That's been about it. Can't really think of it. I think that's you up to date now with absolutely everything that I've done. Just try to see. Oh, I went to Lidl. Balenciaga, Wolves, Lidl. I think that's about it. Here is me making my Jimbo juice. Used a food mixer, made a big mess. Rachel was raging. Hello, Pursue, how do you do? Welcome in. Carvo says, I saw a great effect a guy had with a spinning lens. Oh, nice one. You know that's how they shoot rain, is with a lens that's spinning. So the camera, from the camera's perspective, you don't know that anything's spinning. But if any water droplets land on the lens, they sort of get scooted off because of the centrifugal force. Hammy, how's it going? Welcome in. Is this a cooking channel now? In the sense of let him cook? Yes, indeed it is. ADSR Thug, welcome in. Thank you very, very much for subbing. If you're just in, I debuted a brand new music video I made for B. Dolan. Did a wee bit of visual effects in that. Did that this stream. I spoke about some fiducial markers that I've created. I spoke about, for the cooking stuff just there, that is a open source electrolyte recipe that I've made that involves creatine, potassium, sodium and magnesium. And I've created a wee online application. It's not out yet, where people can fill in a form and get their own bespoke recipe based on their needs. I spoke about a Ursa Mini 4K cinema camera that I saw for sale and thought about buying but didn't buy. Balenciaga, Wolves. I had a good breakfast. Rachel and I went, look at this, by the way. Look at this. This is honestly one of the best breakfasts I've ever had in my entire life. It was sensational. I don't know what beans they used, but it almost tasted just a wee bit like barbecue sauce, but just a wee bit. Just like, honestly, one of the best breakfasts I've ever had. Still no vegetables. You don't need beans as vegetables. Red sauce as well. You know, tomato sauce is a vegetable, so that's fine. Really good. I really, really, really enjoyed that. Oh, Pure Ghost, that's brutal. The price of RAM right now is ridiculous. Where was that again? The Heron Cafe. But I don't know where that is. It's a wee bit of a drive. It's away out in the middle of nowhere. Heron Cafe. The Heron Farm Shop and Kitchen. And that is, where is that? It was a wee bit of a drive. Although, you're in a different location than me. So where is it? About us. Emma and Angus. Aye, where are ye, but? Straven. It's in Straven. Here is their website. It's worth a shot for their breakfasts. They do eggs Benny as well, if you're into that. And they've got a wee shop bit. I bought a steak pie in the shop, and we're having that for our dinner tonight. That's where we sat and had the breakfast. We sat just down there. But it's the Heron Cafe in Straven, and they do really good breakfasts. It's just a wee shop. Kitchen Cafe, let's see what they've got. It's dead good. It's the sort of place that you'd go in and it's like where your ma would go with her pals. You know what I mean? It's that sort of place. Look at this. So big, I noticed that. Big cracks in the support beams. They look structurally unsound. I noticed a couple of them when I was in. Rachel's like, are you alright? And I'm like, aye. But there's a good couple of these. Any structural engineers in? Is that alright? what do you call them? The big support beams? No, beams are across. That would be a strut. I mean, it's very nice. Very nice interior. It looked like one of these Scandinavian things you see in Grand Designs. Are they not metal beams covered in a wood fascia? I don't think so. I think they're pure wood. I think it's solid wood. It seems legitimate rather than... I mean, there's like... This bit is metal. The exterior is metal. But these here are big hunks of wood. The fascia doesn't look finished in a... You okay, Pepper? Heard a noise. I found the markers from Insta360 look different to yours. They're just a white right angle L shape on a black background, one for each corner. I looked up that Insta360 camera after the stream and it does look cool, but I'm fairly confident they're for two separate things. So they markers are to mark out a whiteboard, and then if you're doing like a video conference, the whiteboard can be undistorted. Whereas I don't think those markers, I don't think you can do live zooming. So I think the feature of the Insta360 Link camera, it looks like quite a good camera by the way. See the one with the gimbal on it would be quite useful for loft stuff. But I think it's two separate features because I was a wee bit worried I might be infringing on a patent or something. But what my thing does is different from what their thing does, so it feels good. Because I was a wee bit worried. I'm sure I've passed that place heading down to Kames Rally Circuit. Well, listen, see if you're passing and you're hungry. Not a sponsored segment. I just went in and it was really good. It was a very tasty breakfast, and I enjoy my breakfasts, by the way. Pursue says, all good projects moving on leaps and bounds. I plan on helping bringing back that extinct Carboniferous monster-sized fish found around the Midland Valley borders in Ireland. How are you bringing it back, Pursue? That sounds like a fun project. I'll be trying that when I go and see Mearns and Roscoe in January. Oh, a nice one. Mearns and Roscoe on the one bill. Off you're in for a treat. What is that part of Valdrakian? Is Roscoe doing a thing? Or is Mearns doing a thing? Or is it part of another thing? Strathen, I would have stupidly pronounced it Strathaven, maybe showing my ignorance as someone from the northeast. Yes, so this is one of these Scottish words. Straven. It looks like Strathaven. Maybe I'm wrong, but that is Straven. It's like Mulgai. Stonehaven isn't called Stohaven. No, it isn't. It's called Stonehaven. Mulgai is the name of a place, but spelled out as Millingavi, but you don't say that. Somebody I went to art school with was talking about a place near Glasgow called Bearsden. I'm like, Bearsden? She's like, Bearsden. I'm like, alright, Bearsden. That's the only other place related patter that I happen to have off the top of my head. But Bearsden made me laugh. It's a nice camera, $129 in a Black Friday sale. Very nice, family. Very nice. I was looking at cheap VR headsets, by the way. You do game development and stuff like that, and you might... earlier on the stream I was talking about this Oasis driver. Very briefly, because I've already spoken about it extensively on the stream, there are lots of VR headsets that are old, right? And because they're old, they stopped working because Windows discontinued support for Windows Mixed Reality, right? So there's lots of headsets that a lot of the owners think are just broken and don't work anymore because the support for Windows Mixed Reality doesn't exist anymore. However, somebody has just come out with this brand new Oasis driver. It was released at the end of August, just there. And so now all of these older headsets are now able to work again. And some of these, Bowdy got one for £15, just when I was talking about it live on stream. So check that out if you want to do any gaming. It links up to Steam VR and doesn't require too much hacking to make it work. for anybody that's interested in getting into the VR sphere. So I'm going to have a wee look and see if I can get the Odyssey Plus or the HP Reverb. They seem to be the two best ones that can work with this, that are at a reasonable price. The controls aren't great, but for driving games and stuff, seems to be really good. And the HP Reverb have got OLED screens rather than LCD screens, so that's quite good. Different resolution, mind you, but the Oculus, whatever it is, the Meta Quest is a good couple £100, whereas with these ones you can get them second hand for under £50. So I'm thinking about obtaining one of them, getting myself an early Christmas present, and maybe over Christmas we can play Half-Life Alyx live on stream. That could be exciting. There's an HP one with a day left and it's at £21. Dynamite. Here, don't get that, everybody. I want it, right? Don't outbid me. Don't stream snipe me. Forgot to say, completely sold on Raycast. Moved from Alfred, got it set up nicely on my Mac. Bro, I love Raycast. I absolutely love it. I use it every single day. And Raycast for Windows has just launched. I've not installed it myself, but Raycast for Windows didn't exist for a long time. Now it does, so that's exciting. Pursue says, you're making sculptures, doing murals, incorporating it into graffiti letters and giving it sire music, play tunes evocative of it, with science outreach grounding, maybe some content too. That sounds dynamite, man. That sounds really cool. All the very best with your project. I love it when you just get right deep into something. That's amazing. I'll get into your VR sphere. I wish you would back on the SSRIs. I'm still not seeing VR will be anything more than tech demos until the mid-2030s. Aye, it's useful for some stuff. Like, I'm a big fan of the Half-Life franchise, but I haven't played Half-Life Alyx. Wanted to play Half-Life Alyx for a bit, but I'm not going to touch a Meta Quest, because to get one of them will be about £400. So I resigned to the fact that I won't play Half-Life Alyx. But then I spotted that you can get a decent enough headset for under £50. So I will be doing that. Because you know me, I'm a tinkerer, sort of technologist type of enthusiast. And even if it is just tech demos, that's kind of up my street as well. And for viewing media, see, watching stuff on a big screen, it's pretty good as well. Also, I'm a big fan of stereoscopy. See, magic eye images, auto stereograms, all that sort of stuff. VR should be right up my street. And the only reason that I've not dipped my toe in thus far has been the cost. And so, I remember the Google Cardboard, and you could just slide your phone in. I loved that, man. That was so cool. And then they just discontinued it. There should be more work put into a Google Cardboard. Now people's phones are larger and have got more pixels. Somebody needs to come out with that again. DMG. Thank you, Bowdy. Thank you very much. I paid for Raycast 2. Need to play with the AI stuff. Dynamite. Hammy, every morning when I'm in work, I need to do a series of things at the start of my day that is just data entry. And usually it takes about 5 or 6 minutes to do. And now I'm just like, keyboard shortcut, and it fills it all in. Copy, paste, done. Changed my life. It's really good. When I'm saving files, I've got a format that I need to save files in. And depending on some factors, it's always got the date in the file at a certain format, all of that sort of stuff. And using Raycast, I've just got a shortcut, don't need to think about any of that, and it will always name it correctly. Raycast, everybody, is more than just an app launcher. Check it out if it's on Mac and Windows. Raycast, it's called. I can recommend it. Right here, don't you take my HP headset? I shouldn't have told you until I got one. Literally deep. 100% was swimming around here, living its best life in the coal swamps. Amazing, man. That's our granddads. It's a killer feature for the Vision Pro, really good for watching movies. As long as the movie is under 2 hours, because that seems to be the battery life. The killer drawback of the Vision Pro is just the price, isn't it? Do you save out an EXR? No, not for BBC stuff. BBC stuff is just news, so it's disposable. It's like, it's just stuff that isn't meant to be colour graded or treated or whatever. You chuck it out, send it to a media server, and it just gets broadcast. So for the stuff that I'm doing for the BBC, no, it doesn't involve any sort of like everything's just 8-bit ProRes, or even just MP4 if it's going on a screen like H.264. Thanks for the feedback and encouragement. Should be crazy wild fun. Aye, 100%. You know me, I love getting my head into a project, and it seems to be like the more niche the project, the more fun it can be. Like, who else is playing about with fiducial markers? Do you know what I mean? Or who else is researching ancient mad beasts that used to swim about where we're currently sitting? You know what I mean? I really enjoy getting distracted by something that is very specially interesting to just me, and when somebody else is doing that, I think it's worth encouraging, you know. This is definitely one of the key sites, East Kirkton, of terrestrial tetrapods radiation. So all of our ancestors, none of us are originally from here. We radiated, then came back in a different form. It's mental, isn't it? I love me a wormhole. Totally. Listen, my voice is going, everybody. And I've got to the bottom of the chat. Oh, Gilly goodness. Hello, Cater Cakes. How's it going? Welcome in. Kate, you've came in at a bad time because I'm just ready to raid out. However, see if you want to see more of this content, I highly recommend going back to the start of the stream and watching the VOD, because I've covered tons of amazing stuff on this stream. I debuted a brand new B. Dolan music video. Oh, you shush. And I spoke about a brand new open source electrolyte drink that I've invented, and I've covered these fiducial markers, and I've introduced the world of cheap VR to a lot of folks. Showed you me hanging about with wolves, wearing some Balenciaga, standing next to a fountain in Bali, was outside Lidl. The stream's been filled with stuff. Cater Cakes, I hope you're doing good. Maximum respect to you. Thank you for the sub. My voice is going, I'm really sorry. Oh, thanks, Carivora, we'll check that out. I need to pause it before it happens. Oh, aye. Ah, right, that's different from what I was thinking, Carivore, but we'll check that out. Listen, everybody, I'm going to read Ad. Let's go over to Ad. He's a cool guy, and we're all going to go and see him there. When I did matte paint on Happy Feet 2 an age ago, they had heavily modified Photoshop with scripts. The ingest was 32-bit EXRs. The script was then converted to 16-bit EXR. When opening in Photoshop, you worked in that, and saving it converted back to 32-bit. Did it need to go back to 32-bit? Because if you save up, you're not adding any information on. All done in a colour profile that matched a film stock. You previewed it using the CMYK preview. My goodness me. Well, listen, if it worked, it worked. CMYK for video? Wild. Absolutely wild. Pablo Diablo adds on, but listen, you don't need to touch the button because I'm going to take us over here right now. Maybe he will play the brand new B. Dolan music video that's on my Instagram and only on my Instagram. That's Instagram/1030GIH. My name's James Houston, but before I go, here's a magic trick. Oh no, the pressure. Ah, fucked it up. See you later, love you. See you later, bye. Ads off. Ads off. Is ad off? Ad is off. Well, that's a good job that ad is off. You shush. That's a good job that he didn't raid me, because then we would have crossed the streams. Kate, do you remember we did that? Kate was streaming, I was streaming at the same time a couple of years ago. And we both happened to be looking for somebody to raid at exactly the same time. And I clicked on Kate's stream, and Kate clicked on my stream at exactly the same time. And we were both just like that. Like, I landed on Kate's stream as she was looking at my stream. And we were both just really, we're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It was awkward. Jivers? Let's go to Jivers. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming in. My name's James Heston, Houston's person. Right, I'll do a proper magic trick, right? I don't know if there was a wee bit of hesitation. Maybe on later tonight. If not, I will be on tomorrow around about 1:30. See you, everybody. Love you. Bye. See you, everybody. Bye. Later on. Ta-ta. I'm away to rest my voice. It's a wee shame. Goodbye. Instagram.com/1030GIH. Follow me. I want to see follows. Thank you very much. See you later. See
Oh,
you,
it dripped
television
in. What a
people.
putt.
A lot of you don't see this bit
He
of the stream.
did get 5
but
birdies in a
see yous.
row.